Welcome to the premiere episode of Montage, a show that highlights all things lifestyle, from fashion and entertainment to inspiration and DIY projects. Montage highlights topics for men and women who enjoy a fun way of life. I'm your host, Stephanie Sutton. So let's get right into it. You ever have a great outfit, but you need to go somewhere else and you don't have time to change? Well, we have stylist Shayla Courtney here with a segment we like to call Closet Cleaners, who's going to give us tips on how to turn our outfit from day to night.
Hi, it's Shayla Courtney, your fave stylist, and we're here at Local Love, presented by Press Play, and we're going to show you how to take a look from day to night. I'm here with Liz, and we have her in a skater dress by All Inclusive Girl, and to make this a daytime look, what I did was just add very simple accessories. We have her in some dangling beaded earrings, and we have her with rope braided bracelets. Jewelry by Tia Lee's, and by keeping it simple, it doesn't overwhelm you for her daytime, and for her nighttime, we're gonna add just a little bit more jewelry. From day to night for this look, what I did was add a little bit more jewelry. So I added a statement necklace, and I also added a pair of earrings that go perfectly with it. Added a bracelet and a piece of jewelry to her forearm, and we also added a really fun thumb ring. From day to night for this look, I would add tights for during the day, and at night take them off. So you're showing a little more skin, and you've got a little bit more jewelry. For more tips on transferring from day to night, make sure to visit my website at www.shaylacourtney.com.
Thanks, Shayla. Now, fellas, you guys can use these tips on your lady friends as well. And now that we have our wardrobe together, it's time to create a beauty look that you can recreate in a few easy steps. Makeup artist Sarah Rolland has our beauty blitz.
Hi guys, my name is Sarah Rolland. I'm a makeup artist who will be doing a look on my model today, Lauren. We're going to be doing a soft bronzy eye and a bright lip. And as you can see, we've already prepped her skin with a nice glowy bronzy finish, and it's nice and dewy to complement the eye makeup we'll be doing today. So we're gonna prep her with a base that matches her skin tone. And I'm going to take a nice flat brush and I'm gonna distribute it all the way from her lid up into underneath her brow bone. You definitely want to use a color that complements your skin tone when you're doing this look because you want it to look natural. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and grab a gold brown neutral color to put on her eyelid. And I'm using a large flat shader brush to press right in. Now I'm going to take another flat brush for right underneath her eyebrow. I'm gonna accent her brow bone with a soft neutral goldy beige, something with a high shine and reflect, so it kind of gives almost the appearance of that wet look. And I'm focusing on her brow bone and I'm feathering it out to the rest of her, underneath the rest of her brow bone. So I'm focusing in the arch of her brow and then I'm spreading it out to the rest of her brow bone. I'm gonna come back in with a mid-tone color for her crease. This eye look is a very wearable look that you can do for just about any lip color. So it's very versatile. keep blending the lines so it doesn't look harsh. And then we're gonna do the same to the bottom. We're gonna add a little bit of the brown liner to the bottom of our eye. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of mascara on Lauren to kind of finish off her eyes. Perfect. Now we're going to put on a nice bold lip. When you're doing bolder lip colors, you definitely want to perfect around the lips. You don't want to do like a bright red or any bright color for that matter without making sure your line quality is good. So you want to pay a closer attention to detail. And then you can keep the look matte, or you can add gloss to it. Now, since I chose this color and she already had a kind of a natural bronzy blush, I'm going to add a little bit more pink to her cheeks to complement her lip color. And this is the finished look. So it's just a soft bronzy eye and a bright pink red lip, which you can interchange to whatever you feel complements your outfit or your skin tone or your eye color or your hair color. Soft and natural eyes and really dewy, glowy skin works really well with this lip, with a brighter lip color.
Welcome back to Montage. So how many times have you looked into your refrigerator and seen a bunch of different ingredients but none go together to make a meal? Well, you've got a solution for that. Up next is Food Fight, a segment that shows you how to take your unusual ingredients to make a unique yet tasty meal. Here's Icebreaker Chef Mark Conway.
Hi, I'm Chef Mark with Kitchen Inc. Today we're going to make some interesting food, and we're going to start off by making a tiramisaki, which is an Asian-Italian fusion on a classic tiramisu. So what we're going to start off with is get our pan together, and we're just going to use the egg yolks so we can get a nice base for our cream sauce. Add a little bit of brown sugar. Normally when you do your egg yolks, you'd add white sugar. But I like to use brown sugar because it's got a little bit of that molasses in it, which adds a little more flavor. So we've got 6 egg yolks in the pot already. We're gonna add in, my measuring wise, we're gonna add in about a 3/4 cup of the brown sugar. And we're gonna work on our whipped cream. Now, the neat thing about the whipped cream, we're gonna make it with straight heavy cream, but we're gonna add in wasabi, which you're probably used to when you go and get sushi, but we're gonna use it in this Asian fusion dish. Now I'm gonna start putting everything in the bowls, and we're gonna go ahead and get to mixing. You really only wanna have it on about a medium heat, because if not, you'll burn the sugar and you'll end up with a really bad version of caramel. Now, we'll go over here, we're gonna get our little mixer, and we're gonna start whipping the heavy cream. We'll take a quick look at the pan here. And as you can see, it's all starting to kind of reduce down. You're starting to see less granules of sugar, and you're starting to see more of like a caramel. Or caramel, depends on where you're from. I'm gonna turn that heat down just a little more. And we're gonna add some heavy cream to that mix as well. About a cup is really all you need. And now we're gonna let this all cook together. It'll break down, and it's gonna form what you're looking for is gonna be kind of like a paste, because that's what you're gonna use to smother all over those cookies. So if you didn't like cookies before, you're really gonna like cookies now. All right, let that keep cooking. Now, wasabi. Here's the thing about that, as we put it on our whipped cream, you can see you've got a nice foamy, thick whipped cream. When we add this in, depending on your sensitivity to heat, will be whether you use a whole tube of wasabi or whether you use a partial tube. I'm pretty sure we should probably start off with a partial tube, because the last time I made this in practice, the first time I got to play with this dish, you know, had those fussy people at home that were like, it's too hot. So we'll just add in half the wasabi this time. See how you're getting that just faint green color. Not too much, just enough. All right, that's the base for our cream mix. And back over here, again, just every once in a while checking the stove, making sure you're in good shape. And that's just gonna slowly cook down. All right, now the next step in making teramisaki is, of course, sake. It's definitely a good excuse to crack a bottle of sake and have a little bit while you're making it, because you should always try the alcohol you're using. Well, plus you don't want to waste the rest of the bottle. So what I've got in here is we've got our toffee cookies. They're nice, just, you can either make some at home if you're a baker. I am not. Won't even try to pretend. You have to measure things, and I can't do that. So we got a nice toffee cookie. And what you want, you can use lady fingers, but I like to add a little bit more flair to something like this. And so these little shortbread cookies had toffee in it. And we're gonna set these aside and let them go for about 15 minutes. So just set them aside and forget about them. If you want to taste a cookie, nobody's gonna blame you for it. Next thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna take a dish and take that cream mixture we made and set it inside here, because we're gonna want this to just cool. So you can put it in your refrigerator, you can let it go in there for half an hour or so. Really, you just don't want it to have any more ambient heat. So there we go. We got that ready. Set our pot aside. And that's your cream mix. You can see it's just kind of a basic cream. You don't want it too thin, but you don't also want it too thick, because you're gonna have to spread it later. So now we're gonna go ahead and get this in the refrigerator, let that cool for about a half an hour, let our cookies chill out for a bit, and we'll be setting up the teramisaki after this. All right, now we're back to having fun with teramisaki, that Italian and Asian fusion dessert that we're gonna have a little fun with. We've already had our cookies soaked in sake, we made our wasabi whipped cream, and now we have that sugar and egg yolk mix we made inside the oven or on top of the stovetop, and we've got that good and cooked down, and now it's cold, and that's what you want, because if you put it in warm, it's just going to cause everything to break down. So that's good and cold. Now we're gonna get mascarpone, and if you've never seen mascarpone, it's basically an Italian cream cheese. Me personally, I would eat this on toast, on a cracker, on a cookie, just straight out of the container, and I won't do that with cream cheese. So try this stuff, mascarpone. We're just gonna scoop it right in. I'm gonna use 2 containers. That's about a pound of mascarpone. You will not be sorry you did. And really just folding that in. You want that to all be incorporated, because this is gonna be one of the layers to your teramisaki. It's gonna go right on top of the cookie and give you that nice, rich flavor that you're used to inside a tiramisu. Now, I've talked to a lot of people, we've had lots of discussions about tiramisu. It's one of those things that you either really love or you really don't, and it a lot of times isn't quite what you'd like it to be. This will be in its own realm all to itself. You're gonna have a lot of fun with this dish. Your friends are gonna be shocked, dismayed, because you've got things like toffee cookies and wasabi whipped cream, and instead of having your typical, you know, rum and coffee mixture, we're gonna have a whole different spin on the whole dish, topped with dark cocoa. And this is one of my favorites. It is crystallized candied ginger. So we're gonna garnish the top with that instead of just a cocoa or an espresso on top. So now we can start assembling. So we've got our dish we're gonna put it in. I like to put it in a glass dish, because then you can go ahead and see all the layers. And it also helps keep it cold as well. So we've got our cookies. We're just gonna line the bottom. And we'll have a couple of layers to this when it's all said and done. There we go, first layer in. So again, you're just layering your cookies right on the bottom, so you can go ahead and fill around it. The first layer you put in is some of your mascarpone mix. And you can be pretty generous with it. Kind of depends on how sweet you really want it to be. Because this is basically your sweet layer here. So once we got that layer down, now comes our wasabi whipped cream. And again, we made that whipped cream very simply. We just used heavy whipping cream, whipped it, and added our wasabi folded in afterwards. And again, this is food. Have fun with it. There's no rules. If it gets a little on the side of the glass, so be it. You can lick it off later. Next layer of cookie. Now you've got your layers all through. You've got cookie, you've got our cream mascarpone mix, our wasabi whipped cream, but we're not done there. We went and picked up this. You can get it in a lot of your grocery stores, some of your specialty stores. This crystallized ginger, it's like candy. So if you like ginger, you're gonna love it. If you don't like ginger typically, you're probably gonna find you really like this. So all we're gonna do, I'll move this out of the way. All we're gonna do is just chop it up a little bit. Run a knife through it, get it a little smaller, get it a little more like a bite-sized garnish. And then we'll just kind of sprinkle that all across the top. It cuts very easy. You don't have to worry about it being too tough to cut through. It's a piece of cake. And again, what's the rule? Play with your food. That's the only rule. The rest of it, no rules for cooking. So don't worry about it being perfect, just get it on there. And we're gonna take it and you just sprinkle it all across the top. You'll know how much to cut, or if you need to cut more, cut less. You just want a nice coating across the top. All right. And as you can see, got a nice little sprinkle of candied ginger on top. Now we're gonna hit it with just a little bit of dark cocoa. Now you can sift it if you have a sifter. If not, don't worry about getting that fancy. Just get some cocoa on there. Now it looks a little more like a traditional tiramisu. But in every way you can imagine, it is as far from normal as you can possibly get. So there you've got it. I like to call that tiramisaki, a play on a fun dessert, combining Italian and Asian cultures and getting a lot of people to talk about what they just ate at your house. Remember, have fun, incorporate your family and kids, and we'll see you next time.
And for the record, that recipe was amazing. So basically what I'm saying is, we killed it. So the recession hit about 5 years ago, but we could also use some tips on how to save some money. Do It on a Dime showcases how to make the most creative projects on the simplest of budgets. Check it out.
Hey y'all, and here today with Do It on a Dime with y'all Dwayne. We are going to set up our photo booths. Now, photo booths are all the rage right now. You may see photo booths at weddings, parties, birthday parties, bar mitzvahs. So we thought it would be clever for us to create our own photo booth, but of course we have to do it on a dime. So what we're going to do, we opted to buy all of our items that you see here before you from the dollar store. Yes, we got it from the dollar store. As you see, I have this lovely poster board to my right, and we went ahead and pre-cut, we pre-slit, I should say, the top and bottom of the poster board so that we can wrap our wonderful garland. Our garland here is very festive. Looks sort of like a Mardi Gras party is about to take place, and so we have our garland here to wrap our board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of the strands of garland, and as I said, we already pre-cut the top and bottom of our board, and we're going to run this garland all the way through until we get to the outer edges. Stay tuned and keep it locked. Now that was a feat. As you see, we have left the sides open because we definitely want to add other elements to our backdrop. So we just wanted to wrap the main part in garlic and keep the sides open for whatever other little knickknacks you may want to place in there for yourself. Now, what would be a photo booth session without props? You gotta have props. So we found these thrifty little dollar symbol glasses at the dollar store. So you have your friends throw in a set of glasses, or for those who are really fancy, maybe the mask, and get the snapping. For more Do It On a Dime tips, make sure you keep it locked here on Montage.
And now for our final segment in our premiere episode, Montage Moment highlights the best in inspiration, entertainment, and events. Today's Montage Moment features Rob Hill Sr., author and philanthropist. We sat down for part 1 of the exclusive interview where he dished on everything from love to why he's been called a dog. Let's check it out. So we are sitting here with Rob Hill Sr., author, philanthropist, and we're gonna call this your most intimate, exclusive interview ever. How does that make you feel?
Okay,
You're
I'll
good?
take that. Yeah, that's
So
good.
last time, we've known each other for a little while. We sat down, you were just promoting your very first book. I remember that, the paperback. You kind of did the guerrilla style marketing. You were on foot, you were running around, and now it's been about 3.5 years, and you can't go anywhere now without hearing Rob Hill Sr. this, Rob that, Rob this, Rob that. How exciting has it been, like the transition from those 3 years ago to now sitting here in 2014?
It's exciting. Looking back on it, the time has flown. And I just think of how much stuff happened since that first book. And life has changed tremendously. I was selling that book out of the trunk. Like it wasn't, I built my first website for it. Like GoDaddy has this like website overnight thing. And I built my first website for it. It sucked. Like it was really bad, but I really wanted it out there. And to see where it is now, it's incredible. And it's been a whatever kind journey. I wouldn't trade it for anything though.
I think people kind of see, you know, with the whole emergence of social media, it's so crazy now. So it seems like you were this overnight success. It's like, oh, it's Rob Hill. And then, but I remember when you were just, like you said, selling the books out your trunk, and I'm just like, Rob hasn't been no overnight success. He's been doing this for a long time. So what is it, you know, how does it feel when people come to you and just like, oh my gosh, you're like this epitome of a celebrity to them?
Celebrity? I always
That's what
correct
people call it. Hey, I didn't say that. I know you, but people call it like you're a celebrity. People want to stop and take photos of you at Wendy's.
There was a time where I could walk in the mall and nobody would notice me, except for the people who knew me. So to walk in any mall or any place now and people actually stop you and think enough of you to want a picture or want an autograph, that's an honor. Like I don't see how people get, now maybe if I was Beyonce, I might get tired of it because you can't get everyone. But I'm at the point where I can get everyone. And I'm like, me? Y'all sure y'all want this autograph, you know, or this picture? I like somebody's picture on social network and that's screenshotable. Like they want to post that. And it's just like, wow, you know, after the process and just knowing you've made an impression on people in that way to where they deem you important, that's a gift.
Right. Now, a lot of the things, you know, you have gotten even more exposure because of things like Instagram and Twitter. And, you know, we're gonna go there. People talk about, well, why are you even credible to even give advice to people? You're not in a relationship, you're not married. What makes you credible to be giving people relationship and love advice?
I give life advice first.
Okay.
You know, I'm the anti-relationship expert. However, before there were degrees, before there were certifications, before there were any of that, experience was the #1 qualifier. You can't deny my experience. Anybody who's read my work understands that it comes from a place that you can only speak of if you've been through certain things. And for me, that's been enough. I never had like Oprah say, hey, everybody, this guy's great, go listen to him.
Right.
No, I came from 22 email contacts. I came from literally nothing, the dust. And to have this platform, to me, that speaks for itself. I didn't buy that. Everybody can check. You know, that speaks for itself. And
You
I
didn't
think
buy your
that-
followers.
No, like I said, the number one qualifier is
Right.
experience. But you can take all of that away. You can get a degree right now, go apply for a job, and they will not hire you because you don't have enough experience. Yeah, you got the paperwork, but you don't have enough experience. And to me, that's all you need. But then again, my writing isn't, hey, I got it all together, this is how you get it perfect. My writing is like, look, I messed up here, but this is what I see now. You know what I mean? Or I made a mistake here and this is where I took it now. Or like, look, I ain't with it. You know, and I think that people relate to it because it's not that pedestal advice that we're used to getting.
Now, how do you feel when people do the whole, they do the comparisons?
Okay.
You know, Rob Hill is like the new Steve Harvey or the next Tony Gaskins or any of these other motivational speakers. How does that make you feel being compared to the likes of these types of people?
I used to be compared to dogs. So I'll take that. You know, like I haven't always been compared to respected or revered people. And for anybody who has an opinion about Steve Harvey.
Thanks for joining us on our premiere episode of Montage. We hope you enjoyed all the tips, tricks, and pizzazz for all you ladies and fellas out there. If you'd like to contact us or want more information about the show, log on to the social media listed below. We'll see you next time.